everyone. In the previous class, we discussed about DC bridges, so which are helpful for us in the determination of unknown resistance value. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about AC bridges, so which are helpful for us in finding out unknown capacitance value and unknown inductance value. So here AC refers to the alternating current. That means this capacitor and inductor are going to work with the help of alternating current. So their charging and discharging is decided by the frequency of the alternating current signal, which we are going to pass to the AC bridge. So coming to the definition of AC bridge. So AC bridge circuit is nothing but a bridge circuit which operates with the help of alternating current voltage signal. So then it is nothing but AC bridge. So if you see the general construction of AC bridge, it looks like this. So in the previous sessions, we have seen how the DC bridge is constructed. So in the DC bridge, what we have, it has one closed loop. It has 4 arms. In the 4 arms, we have 4 resistors there. Okay. And we have used DC signal source, and we have used in the another junction galvanometer for finding out the current fluctuations or voltage variations. In this AC bridge, we have 4 arms similar to DC bridge, but here we have 4 impedances are present instead of 4 resistances. So impedances means these 4 arms may contain resistor and capacitor in series, or resistor and inductor in series, or in parallel. That means resistor and capacitor in parallel, or inductor and resistor in parallel. That is how. Okay. So any construction is possible in the AC bridges. So if any of the arms contain resistor along with the capacitor or inductor, so then it is nothing but impedance. Okay. So here we have 4 impedances, Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. Similar to the DC bridge, we have 2 junctions available in AC bridge as well. So at one junction between A and C junctions, we are going to apply one alternating current source, and in between the another junction, so that means in between the 2 points C and D, we are going to connect one detector, okay, for detecting the voltage variations, which is calibrated in decibels. Okay, that means here this detector is going to operate at the RMS, root mean square value of the alternating current signal. So this is the general construction of AC bridge. Next, coming to the important bridges which we are going to discuss in this session are, so in this session we are going to discuss about Maxwell bridge and shearing bridge. So the main importance of Maxwell bridge is to find out the inductance. Okay, so Maxwell bridge is used to find out the inductance value which is unknown, which is connected in one of its arms. Okay, so if you look at the construction of AC bridge, that is nothing but Maxwell's bridge. See, this is the general construction of Maxwell bridge. So here we have 4 impedance arms at one arm. So we have adjustable resistance in parallel with the capacitor C1. At another arm, we have resistance R2. And similarly, on the other arm, we have one variable resistor called R3. And at the 4th arm, we have one inductor whose value is to be found in series with its leakage resistor Rx. That means here we don't know what is the value of Lx and Rx. So this should be determined with the help of Maxwell bridge. Understood? That is what we are going to see now. Now, similar to the DC bridges, we need to obtain the condition for AC bridges as well. So whenever the impedances are multiplied like this, at the time the bridge balancing can be done. So whenever Z1 into Z4 will be equal to Z2 and Z3. So at that time balancing of the bridge is done. That means this detector detects only 0 value present in the reading. So whenever this detector shows the null reading, then the bridge is in balanced condition. It will happen whenever this criteria is met. That means Z1, Z4 equal to Z2, Z3. So now we are going to determine the Z4 unknown value with the help of the expression Z2, Z3 by Z1. Okay, so that means whenever we multiply the impedances of Z2 by Z3 and divide the result by Z1, we are going to obtain the unknown inductance along with its leakage resistance Rx. So let us see the expressions now. So Z1 into Zx equal to as admittance. Okay, so the reciprocal of impedance is nothing but admittance. Why we are using admittance in this case means it is easy to obtain the expression for admittance in case of parallel resistor and capacitor. Okay, so that is why we are going to take admittance value instead of impedance value here. So where Z1 equal to, that means impedance Z1 equal to R1 in parallel with the capacitor C1. So whenever we are going to take its admittance, this is the reciprocal of Z1. Okay, Y1 equal to 1 by Z1. So the expression form admittance, okay, so is written like this. That is 1 by R1 plus J omega C1. So this is the resultant admittance of first arm. Okay, so where we have connected resistor in parallel with the capacitor. And on the other arm, we have only resistor, that is Z2, and Z3 value is again another resistor itself, that is R3, and ZX. We have again one more impedance available here, that is nothing but Rx value is in series with the inductor. So this expression, the expression for ZX is written like ZX equal to Rx plus J omega Lx. That means for capacitor and inductors, we have to consider their reactances. Okay, so that is why this frequency term omega has been used, which indicates that capacitor and inductors, uh, the charging of capacitors and inductors dependent upon the frequency of the alternating current signal. So that is why omega has been taken into the expressions. Now, we are going to balance the bridge. So, Zx is written like Z1, Z2 into Y1, right? So, here we are going to use all these terms in that expression. So, here we have Zx, that is nothing but Rx plus J omega Lx, which is equal to Z1, okay, sorry, Y1. Y1 we have taken at the last. So Z2, Z3 are nothing but R2, R3, and Y1 is nothing but 1 by R1 plus J omega C1. So here, let us simplify this expression by multiplying R2, R3 with the remaining terms present in the right hand side. So R2, R3 by R1 plus J omega C1 R2, R3. Now, how we are able to determine the unknown value Rx and Lx? By equating the real terms with the imaginary terms. Okay. So here the real part is present at the left hand side is nothing but Rx. At the right hand side we have R2, R3 by R1. So if you equate this real part, so we will be able to obtain the value of unknown leakage resistor as Rx equal to R2, R3 by R1. And Lx equal to three imaginary terms. So imaginary terms contain the J value in. Okay. So we are going to equate these two terms now. So J omega gets cancelled. So Lx value will be able to obtain as C1, R2 and R3. So that means what? So whenever we compare this unknown inductance with the known standard capacitors, okay, so we'll be able to obtain the expression form Lx. So this is very simple method for obtaining unknown inductance values with the help of known capacitors and resistors which are placed in different arms of Maxwell's bridge. So this is how we are able to determine the inductance value by using Maxwell's bridge. And here Q is nothing but the quality factor of the Maxwell's bridge, okay, which lies in the 1 to 10 in case of Maxwell bridge. So the quality factor is nothing but the ratio of the reactance to the resistance. Okay, so here the reactance of the inductance is nothing but omega Lx. which is divided with the resistance, leakage resistance Rx. So whenever we find the quality factor, so we will be able to obtain the expression like this, that is nothing but omega C1 R1. So if you want to determine how quality, okay, what is the quality of the bridge, we are going to find out its quality factor. So quality factor determines the quality of the bridge. So which can be determined with the help of expression in case of Maxwell's bridge, like omega C1 and R1. So omega is nothing but 2 pi f. Okay. So f is the frequency of the alternating current signal, and C1 is the fixed capacitor, capacitance of the fixed capacitor, and R1 is the resistance which we have used in parallel with the C1. So this is how we will be able to obtain the unknown inductors values and quality factor of the bridge. Next bridge is shearing bridge. So Maxwell bridge is used to measure the unknown inductance value, but by using shearing bridge, we will be able to obtain unknown capacitance value. Here the comparison is done with the help of another standard capacitor. Okay, so the only variation present in the shearing bridge and Maxwell bridge is the construction is going to be mostly same. Okay, so in first arm we are going to use R1 in parallel with the C1. In another arm we are going to use R2. Okay, but here R3, R4. Here the construction will vary for Maxwell's bridge and shearing. On the third arm, we are going to place one standard capacitor C3, and similar to that, in the fourth arm, we are going to place one unknown capacitor C4 or R4. That means Cx or Rx. We can consider Cx or Rx, whose values to be determined with the help of the shearing bridge. Okay. So here, this unknown capacitor Cx and Rx are going to be compared with the standard resistors R1 and C1, okay, which are adjustable to obtain the balance of the bridge. Okay, whenever the bridge gets balanced, at the time we are going to obtain the same expressions like we have done for the other bridges. So whenever Z1 is multiplied with the Zx and whose product is equal to Z2 and Z3. Okay, the other impedance is present in the other arms of the shearing bridge. Then the bridge is balanced. That means the detector shows us the zero reading. Now Zx is determined with the help of expression Z2, Z3 by Z1. So Zx, like we have taken in the Maxwell's bridge, here also we are going to take the reciprocal of impedance as admittance Y1. So Zx value can be determined by multiplying Z2, Z3 and Y1. Okay. So now Zx is nothing but the impedance of the resistor in series with the capacitor. So its value is generally taken like this, that is Rx minus J by omega Cx. So J by omega Cx is nothing but the reactance of the capacitor. And Z2 value is nothing but R2. Z3 is value is nothing but, because it contains capacitor in its arm. So reactance of the capacitor is taken like minus J by omega C3. And Y1 is nothing but the admittance of the parallel network of resistor and capacitor. So Y1 value is 1 by R1 plus J omega C1. That's how we are going to take the values for different impedances and admittances. Now at the balance, whenever the bridge is balanced, Zx will be equal to Z2, Z3 and Y1. So product of these three. So now equate all those terms. So Zx is nothing but Rx minus J by omega Cx. So whose value is again is equal to, so Z2 is nothing but R2 only. So R2. Z3 is nothing but capacitance. Okay, capacitance of the capacitor. Reactance of the capacitor. Minus J by omega C3, whose value is again multiplied with the Y1 admittance. 1 by R1 plus J omega. Understood? So now we are going to further multiply. We are going to simplify the right hand side expression in order to equal real and imaginary terms. So R2, R1 is going to multiply the other terms. Okay. So now, whenever we multiply them, so we'll be able to obtain after simplification, R1 into minus A by omega C3. Okay, so here we have after separation C, no need to further simplification. Simply we need to multiply R2 by R1 with minus J by omega C3. So because here we have real and imaginary parts separable already. So if you look at it, so simply we can equate the Rx with the R2 C1 by C3. So only real part available is nothing but those two. So at left hand side we have real part Rx and at right hand side we have R2 C1 by C3. So if you compare real terms directly, we'll be able to obtain the unknown leakage resistance with the expression R2 C1 by C3. And here we have imaginary part minus J. Okay, so these values after comparison, so we'll be able to obtain Cx value like, so J will get cancelled, omega will get cancelled. So Cx equal to R1 by R2 into C3. Okay, so this is how we are going to obtain the expressions for unknown resistance and unknown capacitance with the help of hearing bridge. To understand in these concepts of bridges. So if we